As Russian forces pressed their advance on Kiev on Friday, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky pleaded with Europe to do more.
Europe has enough force to stop this aggression. What we expect further from the European states: withdrawal of visas granted to Russians, switching it off SWIFT, full isolation of Russia, withdrawal of ambassadors, oil embargoes, closure of skies. All of that should be on the table now because it is about a threat to us, to all of us, to the whole of Europe. The aggression can still be stopped. This should be done swiftly.
As if on cue, European Union ministers decided to ratchet up sanctions against Moscow to a new level. They moved on Friday to freeze the European assets of President Vladimir Putin and Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov. They largely agreed it was too soon. It was too soon to impose a travel ban on Putin and Lavrov because negotiating channels needed to be kept open. This comes after, in the early hours on Friday, EU leaders agreed to impose another round of sanctions on Russia.
This package includes financial sanctions that cut Russia's access to the most important capital markets. We're now targeting 70% of the Russian banking market, but also key state-owned companies, including the field of defense. And these sanctions will increase Russia's borrowing costs, raise inflation, and gradually erode Russia's industrial base.
In coordination with the United States, the EU wants to block assets of 4 large Russian banks and leading companies. It also seeks to impose export controls aimed at starving the country's industries and military of semiconductors and other high-tech products. The goal is to isolate, punish and impoverish Russia in the long term.
And this will be the Russian economy that will pay the price for the decision of Vladimir Putin. This is the Russian people that will pay the price for the decisions of Vladimir Putin. This is the Russian oligarchs that will pay for the foolish decisions of Vladimir Putin.
Economists say the sanctions could push up inflation and slow economic growth, also for the European economy. The sanctions are also to target Russian elites and make it tougher for diplomats to travel. The EU and the United States opted not to cut Russia off from SWIFT, a key communications line for commerce worldwide, despite this being a key demand by Ukraine.
Specifically, with the sanctions we've imposed exceed SWIFT. The sanctions we imposed exceed anything that's ever been done. The sanctions we imposed have generated 2/3 of the world joining us. They are profound sanctions. Let's have a conversation in another month or so to see if they're working.
Proponents, like the UK, say banning Russia from SWIFT could be debilitating to the Russian banks. But Germany and others fear the consequences for their own economy. EU leaders said SWIFT remains an option, but only as a last resort. The Kremlin responded on Friday to the sanctions, saying they would cause problems for Moscow, but that those would be resolved and that retaliatory measures against the West will follow. Joanne Robson, NTD News.